Hello, everyone, and welcome back to African Metaphysical Center for Spiritual Healing, Body, Mind, and Spirit Development. I am your host, Kufu Amun-Ra, your metaphysical practitioner, Reiki master, Qigong instructor, bond practitioner, and mystic. Today is a very special topic that I'm putting on. It's totally different than anything else that I've done. It came out of me through a stillness meditation that I performed yesterday for about an hour and a half or two. And I hope that you listen to it to the end and like and share it to as many people as you possibly can, because I think everybody needs this message. Everybody, it's that urgent. Everybody needs to hear this message. The message is called A Message to Humanity If Things Don't Change. You know, we stand at the edge of our own extinction, and most of us are strolling past it. Right now, in this very moment, somewhere on this planet, the last of a species is taking its final breath. A glacier that stood for 10,000 years is collapsing into the sea. A forest older than civilization is being reduced to ash, and we're watching it happen through screens, numbered by the constant flood of information, paralyzed by the scale of our own destruction. The oceans are dying, not might die, not could die, are dying right now. The coral reefs and rainforests of the sea are bleaching white like bones in a desert. The fish are choking on the plastic we threw away without a second thought. The whales are washing up on shores with stomachs full of our garbage, our negligence, our refusal to care. The forests are burning. The Amazon, the lungs of our planet, is being carved up and set ablaze for cattle ranches and palm oil plantations. Ancient trees that have stood for centuries are falling every single second, and with them, the indigenous people who protected these lands for generations are being silenced, displaced, erased. Species are vanishing at rates we can't even track anymore. Scientists call it the sixth mass extinction. But unlike the asteroids that killed the dinosaurs, this extinction has a face. It has a name. It's us. We've turned the key into a furnace. We've pumped so much carbon into the atmosphere that we're literally changed the chemistry of the air we breathe. The ice caps are melting. Sea levels are rising. Entire island nations are preparing to disappear beneath the waves. Cities that have stood for thousands of years will be underwater within our children's lifetime. And what are we doing? We're debating whether it's even real. We're arguing about whether we should do something while the house burns down around us. But it's not just the planet, it's us. It's what we've become. We're more connected than ever, yet we've never been more isolated. We have thousands of friends online, but can't name our neighbors. We can video call somewhere on the other side of the world, but we can't have a real conversation with the person sitting next to us. We are more informed than ever, yet more deceived. We have access to all of human knowledge in our pockets, but we can't tell truth from lies anymore. We've let the algorithm decide what we believe. We've let corporations sell us our own opinions. We've traded wisdom for information and meaning for distractions. We're more advanced than ever, yet more lost. We can split atoms and edit genes and send robots to Mars, but we can't figure out how to feed everyone. We can't figure out how to stop killing each other over invisible lines on maps. We can't figure out how to build a world where a child's future isn't determined by the zip code they're born into. We build a world where profit matters more than people, where we're a number in a bank account is worth more than a human life. We'll let millions starve while we throw away enough food to feed them twice over. Where we'll let children die from preventable diseases because saving them isn't profitable enough. We've built a world where convenience matters more than consequences, where we need everything now, instantly, without waiting, without thinking about what it costs. We want next day delivery, but don't want to think about the carbon footprint. We want cheap clothes, but don't want to think about the sweatshops. We want endless entertainment, but don't want to think about the rare earth minerals mined by children to make our devices. We build a world where we'd rather watch it end in real time than sacrifice our comfort to stop it. We know what's happening. We see the hurricanes getting stronger. We see the droughts getting longer. We see the wildfires getting bigger. We see the refugees fleeing climate disasters. We see it all, and we change the channel. Because it's easier to pretend it's not happening than to admit we're the ones causing it. Because it's easier to blame someone else than to look in the mirror. Because it's easier to feel helpless than to feel responsible. But we are responsible. Every single one of us, every time we choose convenience over consequences. Every time we stay silent when we should speak up. Every time we look away when we should bear witness. Every time we say someone else will fix it, or it's too late anyway, or what difference can one person make? That's how we got here. Millions of people all thinking someone else would solve the problem, all waiting for a hero to save us, not realizing that we are the ones we've been waiting for. Our children will inherit the ashes of what we refuse to protect. They'll grow up in a world of scarcity and conflict and climate chaos. They'll see photos of animals that no longer exist. They'll hear stories about winters with snow and summers that didn't kill. And they'll ask us, they'll look us in the eyes and ask us, what did you do when you knew? What did you do when you had the science, the technology, the resources, the knowledge? What did you do when you still had time to change course? What did you do when the future was still unwritten? And we'll have to answer that we'll have an answer that doesn't sound like cowardice. No answer that doesn't sound like we chose our comfort over their survival. No answer that doesn't sound like we simply didn't care enough. This isn't about fear. This is about truth, raw, uncomfortable, undeniable truth. The clock isn't just ticking, it's screaming. Scientists are begging us to listen. Young people are striking in the streets, pleading for a future. Indigenous communities who've been sounding the alarm for generations are watching their prophecies come true. And still, we hesitate. Still, we debate. Still, we delay. But here's the thing about tipping points. Once you cross them, you can't go back. Once the permafrost melts and releases methane, once the ocean currents collapse, once the feedback loops accelerated beyond our control, it's over. Not in some distant future, in our lifetime. We have one choice left: change everything or lose everything. Change how we produce energy, change how we grow food, change how we build cities, change how we measure success, change how we relate to each other and to the planet that gives us life. Change our systems, change our habits, change our priorities, and truly change our hearts. This isn't about going back to caves. This is about going forward to something better. A world powered by the sun and the wind. A world where forests are protected and regenerated. A world where every person has enough. A world where we measure wealth not by what we take, but by what we give. It's possible. We have the technology, we have the resources, we have the knowledge. What we need is the will. The question isn't whether we can, it's whether we will. Will we find the courage to change before change is forced upon us? Will we choose transformation or collapse? Will we write a story of redemption or carve our names on our tombs? The future is watching. Your children, your grandchildren, generations not yet born who are depending on choices we make right now, today, in this moment. History is recording. Everything we do and everything we fail to do, every choice, every action, every moment of courage, and every moment of cowardice. And time doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about our excuses or our fears or our comfort. It just runs out. We are the last generation that can prevent irreversible climate catastrophe. Listen again. The last generation. This is it. This is our moment, our test, our purpose. What will you choose? Will you be part of the problem or part of the solution? Will you stay silent or speak up? Will you look away or bear witness? Will you despair or act? Because here's what they don't tell you. You're not powerless. Your choices matter. Your voice matters. Your actions ripple out in ways you can't even imagine. Every conversation you have plants a seed. Every sustainable choice you make casts a vote. Every time you stand up, you give someone else permission to stand up too. This is the fight of our lives, for our lives, and we need everyone. We need you. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now, the world is waiting. The future is watching. And the choice is ours. What will you choose? Until next time, Ashe, 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 and thank you for listening.